part of the process is more meetings. It doesn't just end with the matching and the life appreciation day. We then had a couple of meetings about what the introductions were going to look like, because you need a plan for that.
10 days of introductions altogether, which before you go into it you think, oh, that's 10 days, but they went fairly quickly, I think, didn't they?
The foster mum had said, well, why can't she meet him as soon as possible? I know we're going to have introductions, but it'd be lovely for her to meet him. So before one of the meetings, we had arranged to stop off at her house, and my social worker was with me, obviously, and her social worker was there, and he was at the back playing. She had a lovely back garden, and I just walked through and I could see this little tiny child playing. And she remembers it. The first thing I said is, he's tiny. And he really was. He was 14 months at that point in time, still in nappies. I was panicking because I'd never changed a nappy in my life. There's a photo that she's got that is now in his life story book, and it's him about to come down the slide, and my arms are out and he's about to go in my arms, and that's the photo she captured, and that is literally my first meeting of him.
I can remember meeting the kids for the first time with just incredible clarity. I'm sure it's the same for you.
Yeah.
But we pulled up on the drive and we looked at each other and we said, we're about to meet our kids.
I think for me, the whole way through this process, that was the one thing that I couldn't get my head around, was that moment where we were going to get out of the car, walk down the drive, knock on the door, and our kids were going to be there.
Yeah.
I remember saying to you, I was like, Luke, this is it. This is that moment.
We're going to meet them now.
And we saw that little head just poke.
That's it. We were walking up the drive and we saw a little face in the window kind of dip down and
go down again. But I remember as we left, because again, remembering that this was a child, our daughter, that they said that wouldn't attach to me very quickly, that it would take a long time, and that she'd cling to Luke, and I remember when we left, she gave me the biggest hug and a massive squeeze, and I wasn't even expecting a high five.
Yeah.
And that's something that will stick with me forever, just this big squeeze that she gave me. I was like, oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And then you have a morning with them, then you might have a morning and an afternoon, you might do bath time, you might do bedtime. A lot of that is in tandem with the foster family, and eventually what happens is the foster family start to step back a little bit. You end up having a day with them, which is quite amazing and scary. But we built that up quite quickly.
Gradually over the 2 weeks that we went through introductions, we'd see them slightly more, and so first couple of days we just spent increasing amounts of time in the foster carer's house. Then we'd all go out on a day trip together, we'd all go to the park or something like that.
And then eventually the foster carers leave us for a few minutes in the park.
That's it, the first time we were able to take them out ourselves for maybe
which
an
is
hour.
Terrifying.
All of a sudden there's two little children and you go, oh my goodness, what happens now?
We were shown into the house and sat down on the sofa, and their lovely foster carer went and said, I'll go and see if they're around now. So off she went, and then after over a year, how long have we known about them? 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
We'd known about them, we'd seen photos of them for 2 years, and then these two little ducks come running in, and we were on the sofa like this, weren't we? And one came that side and one came this side, and we just met them, and there they were.
And that feeling of two real children, they've been prepared to meet you, and they know your names, but the physical reality, they were 4 and 7 at the time, and they were just tiny, just these tiny lovely little boys, and
giggly, they were really giggly, weren't they?
That end point of, right, he's yours now, and it was much quicker than I was expecting. She took his stuff upstairs, she gave him a hug, she was with her social worker, my social worker was waiting outside, and literally gave him a hug, and she went. And it was horrible and brilliant. Horrible because I felt for her, but also I remember shutting my back door and looking at him and saying, right then, what do we do now?
They came with a very good bedtime routine, so they'd go to sleep very early, but having these two extra bodies in the house, and just silence as well, but going there to check they're all right, because haven't had to be responsible for anybody in the long term. We've had experience of looking after niece and nephews, but that's been for a night or 2 nights, but this is forever. And that sense of responsibility and ownership, just to make it happen and make it go well.
And the little knock on the door at 6 a.m. and say, "Is it morning?" Yes.
We turned up, we popped a few things into the boots. You know, we've been gradually moving some of their stuff to our house over that week. You know, we said goodbye, and we popped into the car and we drove, and all of a sudden it was really weird. They're sitting there in the back of the car. We're driving home. Obviously, we told them this is what was happening, and they were going to stay in. "Oh, would you like to sleep here tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, we'd love that." And you know, we popped them into bed.
And they were really good, and they went to sleep.
Closed the door, and that was.
And we didn't sleep all night.
We were running down the road the other day, and the little one sat in a bus stop, and I went past and I said, "Oh, hello." He said, "Hello, stranger." I went, "Oh, hello, stranger." And he said, "No, you know me. I'm your son." That to me was so massive. It was really big and really flattering and emotional, but you can't just break down and cry at the time. You've got to go, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's carry on into town now." But it's a really proud moment, and those moments where you know that they come to you to feel safe, and when they share things with you, it's very
warming, isn't it?
Yeah.